Hi, in this video we'll be showing you the evolution of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine throughout Fox's X-Men films. First, throughout the original X-Men trilogy, from X-Men 1 to X-Men 3, as a member of the X-Men, Wolverine wore a black leather X uniform, matching similar suits worn by other members. They are designed for protection when the X-Men go into dangerous situations. The designs throughout the three films vary only slightly. Hugh Jackman's physique during this time was rather average, and he also sometimes sported a white vest or jacket as his casual clothes. In X-Men Origins Wolverine, we get to see how he got his brown leather jacket with orange lines from the old couple who helped him. His hair's longer, fitting that 70s and 80s era. Hugh Jackman had bulked up considerably during this time, creating a weird continuity for the character, as if his muscles would shrink later on. In The Wolverine, he goes full Yakuza style in Japan, wearing all black formal clothing. His hair's a lot shorter after getting cleaned up from his earlier appearance in the film as Hobo Wolverine. Next, in Days of Future Past, in the dystopian future timeline, the X-Men wear futuristic X uniforms to combat the Sentinels, each one personalized this time instead of the generic black that we previously got. We see Wolverine in armor plates with blue and yellow fabric, a reference to his classic comic outfit. In the past timeline in the 70s, he wears 70s style clothing, leather jacket, jeans and all. In X-Men Apocalypse, Wolverine makes a rampaging short cameo, but an important one to carry the plot forward. Experimented upon as Weapon X by William Stryker, Wolverine appears half naked, unkempt with long hair, and with wires, a metal helmet, and stuff all over. Next is his final appearance as Wolverine in Logan. Here we see an old version of the character, having aged and weakened considerably, supposedly due to adamantium poisoning. He's in his driver attire throughout the film, and his hair has finally calmed down a bit, actually looking like a normal person. Next, for some extra mentions of other Wolverine appearances. First, we have the extremely brief cameo in X-Men First Class, where he is approached by Charles and Eric in a bar. He only says one line. Next is Hugh Jackman's Wolverine's mug stapled on Deadpool's face in Deadpool 1. We also have Child Wolverine, played by Troye Sivan in X-Men Origins Wolverine. We get to see him awakening his powers for the first time after being enraged. Now here's a quick look at how Wolverine has lived for almost 2 centuries, as shown throughout the film series. We realize that there's a mix between 2 separate timelines here, but we'll just go with it for simplicity. He starts as a kid growing up in Canada, and after running away with his brother, joins many different wars in modern history. The American Revolution, World War I, World War II. It's funny how he was in Normandy at the Western Front, then suddenly being in Japan as part of the Pacific side of the war. Then he's just chilling out in the 60s and 70s, drinking and making out with women. Then he's back fighting in the Vietnam War. He then gets experimented upon and wanders around for years after losing his memory. Then he hooks up with the X-Men, becomes an old man, his friends died, and he too dies at the end. Here are several missed opportunities, the Wolverines that many of us wished to see but never got the chance, so we added fake edited pictures instead. First, the yellow classic suit. His comic book only made it to the big screen in a deleted scene from the Wolverine where it is shown inside a briefcase, and even then he never wore them. Then the Dark Phoenix X uniform. These are matching suits worn by the team in Dark Phoenix. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine doesn't make it to the team, however, not even a cameo. Next, the Avengers. Since the film rights to X-Men characters belonged to Fox all these years, the Mutants exist in a completely separate franchise from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, meaning we never get to see an epic Wolverine vs. Hulk fight. Hugh Jackman has always expressed his interest in playing Wolverine in an Avengers film. For the next part of this video, we'd like to list down several other characters in the X-Men film series who are somewhat similar to Wolverine, having accelerated healing capabilities and are adamantium users at the same time. First is Yuriko Oyama, aka Lady Deathstrike from X2. This brainwashed mutant bodyguard of William Stryker seemed to have similar powers to Wolverine, as mentioned by Stryker himself. Her retractable adamantium claws, however, extend from the tip of her fingernails, amounting to 5 on each hand. In the comics, Lady Deathstrike is not a mutant, but a cyborg who modified her own body in order to gain revenge on Wolverine. Next is Laura, aka X-23, as seen in Logan. She's a clone of Wolverine, although created with a double set of X chromosomes. As in the comics, this she-Wolverine has 2 retractable adamantium claws in both hands, plus 1 in each foot. Next we have X-24, the other Wolverine clone in Logan, but an exact genetic clone this time, appearing as a younger Wolverine in his prime. However, his healing factors seemed to be more limited compared to Logan. His comic counterpart would be Albert, a cyborg clone of Wolverine instead of a genetic clone. Next is Ichiro Yashida, aka Silver Samurai. Originally a powerless human, this elderly Japanese businessman created a powered exoskeleton made of adamantium in an effort to prolong his life and to steal Logan's healing factor. He succeeds halfway, managing to regain his youth halfway before being destroyed by Wolverine. This movie version of Silver Samurai is a combination of 2 of his comic book counterparts, a skilled samurai and his son who possessed an advanced suit of armor. Next we've got Sabretooth, Logan's half-brother with similar feral powers, albeit having shorter claws coming out of his nails, and a more animal-like nature. We never get to see him bonded with adamantium in the films, but a tie-in X2 prequel comic reveals that William Stryker took him to be bonded with adamantium unsuccessfully and his body rejected it. In the comics, he's only ever hinted to have a connection with Logan, but never linked as real brothers, as in the movies. As a joke, we would also like to include William Stryker to this list, as he seemed to age backwards in the messed up X-Men timeline, suggesting a healing factor of some sort. He's also sort of an adamantium user, as he used adamantium bullets to shoot Wolverine in the head. Next, we're going to end our video with some silly Wolverine meme reviews.
Here's a Canadian veteran who fought in all the great American wars in modern history. The curious case of Wolverine Button who aged backwards and lost a lot of muscle mass. We have many Batman, Superman, Hulk, Spider-Man, but there's only one Wolverine. The Last of Us and Logan, 2 similar stories. In a messed up future, an aged bearded man travels across the country with a girl he just met, faces many hardships along the way, and eventually accepting her as his own daughter. Wolverine and Cyclops exchanging their powers in a messed up sort of way.
And that's the end of our video. Make sure you comment on which version of the Wolverine is your favorite. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video if you may. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.
You can click on the thumbnail to see more videos.